Hello, everybody! Carson, Glasshouse Films Midnight Review, and I'm not alone! Evelyn is here with me, and I'm not alone for the first... Wait a minute. No, wait. I saw Cold Pursuit last week. Nick was on that one. Okay, never mind. So yeah, Alita Battle Angel. I will never, ever, ever not have to think about saying that title, because I believe like the original manga is just called Battle Angel Alita, and for some reason that just rolls off my tongue a lot easier. But anyway, Alita Battle Angel. Oh, it's, yeah, okay, now I know why it feels weird to say it now, but anyway, Alita Battle Angel, that's what we're seeing this week, and I have odd, complex feelings about this one. I don't know about you.
I mean, yeah, so Robert Rodriguez is going to be hit or miss, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, he's made some movies that I really like, but most of his
Lava Girl.
Most of his oeuvre does not appeal to me. But then you also have to add in James Cameron. And James Cameron is very...
Movie up.
Huh?
He passed this movie up.
No, he didn't.
To create Avatar. So,
not really. Okay. James Cameron is a very hands-on producer. Like, all of the stuff that all the behind-the-scenes stuff you see, if there's Robert Rodriguez just out of frame, is James Cameron. So this has his name all over it for a lot of reasons. So it's not just like, oh, I put my name on it. It's like, I put my name on it because I worked my ass off on it. So, I don't know. I mean, my biggest concern right now is I tried to describe... It's usually really easy for me to describe what movies are based off their trailers. Cold Pursuit. Liam Neeson is getting revenge for some people killing his son. Easy. Escape room. A whole bunch of people are in like an evil escape room. They're trying to escape. Easy. Alita Battle Angel. So in the future, and it's just from there, it's like in the future there was wars, and then 300 years after that, there's this robot, but it's not really a robot, and it's like, that's a lot of exposition. So it's gonna be a really weird balancing act, I think. What I'm really afraid of is we're gonna be 3 acts in, and we're still gonna get exposition drops. We're still gonna get, wait, we haven't been told about that yet. What is happening? I'm really here for Christoph Waltz, Mahershala Ali. I always feel like I mispronounce his name. and the fact that James Cameron is attached to this, and it looks, from early word, I've been hearing this is Jupiter Ascending 2K19, and I'm like, ooh, interesting. I'm kind of down for that. So we'll see. All I want is I don't want to be bored. I want to have a fun time. Even if I get Valerian, I'll be more than happy. So let's go see this thing.
You told me the story of the war, when the ground shook and the sky burned.
And we're back after that long movie. Oh wow, that was a long movie. I guess this would be the cinematic equivalent of eating a rice cake. It exists, you eat it, you digest it in some form or fashion, but there is literally nothing about it that is memorable.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think my biggest thing about this film is that it has some wildly inconsistent ideas about female chastity.
We're not doing that tonight. We're not. It's not that I don't want to have that discussion. This film does not warrant the effort it would take to have that discussion, as far as I'm concerned. This is... I don't know the last time I was so unfazed by a movie. I was in there for 2.5 hours. The most remarkable part of all of it is that I finally got to see the new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer on the big screen. This was a wholly unremarkable effort, and that's kind of a bummer. I mean, I didn't invest much of anything into it, but it's a bummer because you can see there was a lot of love and effort put into this movie. And you can absolutely tell that. This was not... It's weird. You can tell this movie wasn't made by committee, but at the same time, it had the issues of a movie that was made by committee. Like, there was nothing distinctive that stood out about it. Like, it was trying to cover so many bases at the same time that it didn't make sure that it was a good movie to start with. And that's a bummer, especially given that I think all of the love for this movie was put into the sets, into the design of everything, because that's my big takeaway, is that this movie has amazing sets. I love a lot of the design of this stuff. I'm a big Warhammer 40K head. I felt like this entire thing was like Necromunda, and that was really cool. It was really cool to have a movie in that sort of setting. However, that's kind of the problem, is that this movie is actually 3 movies. It is the new person come to Earth, born sexy yesterday, I think was the term someone used. So very much like Lilu from Fifth Element, to kind of get a grasp on that. It's also a sports movie, and it's also a, I guess, bounty hunter film of some sort. And it's like, okay, maybe if you had spent all of your time on the sports aspect of this, because we don't see big fantasy science fiction sports movies. We don't. It's always a quest. It's always a journey. It's always a road movie. But we never get to see a sports movie. I would have to say that part is the most interesting aspect of this whole thing, is that there's a significant portion of this film dedicated to it being a sports film. And that was cool. That was fun. That was different. But it's brought down by the fact that you have to go through a lot before it and a lot after it. That's just, all right.
I feel like my biggest feelings on this is that the movie's kind of a tragedy. That she falls for this bad boy who's just totally not
Don't
good
give
for
the movie
anything.
Away. We don't have that kind of, we don't do those kind of reviews here.
Okay.
Yeah, she falls for a bad boy. There's that aspect of it. You could see it from the trailers. But, I mean, even the romance falls flat. Apart from True Lies, James Cameron has never been able to write romance super well. That's okay. He doesn't have to, but he's never been able to write it super well. And what's unfortunate is that, well, maybe Titanic. You know what? I always forget. Maybe Titanic. But that whole, I'm not going into Titanic tonight. Yeah, it's, and the other thing that's kind of unfortunate is that he was really good at writing parent-child relationships in film, like in Aliens. And even that, I just feel it's lost in everything this movie does. I swear, there's like 3 separate climaxes to this film. And I understand, you know, how the arc of a film goes, but it's like, okay, that was the whole movie. Shit, we've got another hour and a half. Okay, that's it. Nope, we've still got another 45 minutes. And it's really weird. It's not a train wreck. I will say that. That's what makes this whole thing, I guess, unremarkable, is the fact that it isn't this spectacular train wreck. You know, Jupiter Ascending is a spectacular train wreck, but this movie, there is enough competence, there's enough understanding of the craft of storytelling and understanding what audiences want that exists, that's there, and that does its job the way it should do. But it never rises above and never falls below that. And it's really, it makes for an unremarkable film. And that's how I'm getting to feel about the Marvel films, is stuff like Ant-Man and the Wasp was completely unremarkable. There were parts where I chuckled. This movie, I don't think it made me chuckle, at least not intentionally. It was just, it exists, it's there, it's 2.5 hours, it took time. So the movie as it is about Christoph Waltz. He's very much a I forgot the character's name in To Kill a Mockingbird. Atticus Finch. He's a very Atticus Finch character, except instead of practicing law, he practices medicine on cyborgs. It's like, all right, I'll come back to this point, but he is scrounging around for parts one day, and he comes across Alita, or he comes across a part of a cyborg, and he's like, oh, there's a human brain in there. Let me take this back to my shop. Let me create a person. And it's weird. It's not that Geppetto and weird about it and Pinocchio about it, but anyway, it generally fits his character. And so he builds her, calls her Alita, and she begins to explore the world and is naturally, for reasons the movie goes into, naturally drawn to conflict. And it's like, okay, but then there's the other two movies that happen. And as I said, I'm not really going to get into them, but there's another 2 movies to this. And it's really weird that that's the direction they went in. And it's way too long. You could cut an hour out of this film, center it all on like this one aspect. Because so the first part of it, the Born Sexy Yesterday stuff, that is such a trope, and it is so used that can be used as shorthand to just get you into the rest of the story. So that could be like the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then we move right into this other thing. Boom, there's your 90-minute movie that's really cool. The next movie explores the wider world, and the next one goes in other places. And it's like, that would have been cool. That would have been a fun franchise to follow. But as it is, it almost feels like they were like, we only got one shot. We got a lot of money, but only one shot. Stuff them all in there. Let's just do the whole thing. And you meet a lot of characters. You meet a whole cast of characters, but I would have loved to have stuck around with any of them for more than 5 minutes. And that is probably this film's biggest weakness, is that my fear came true. It's mostly exposition, mostly story, very little character. Very little. The way I saw it, it's like everything that comes down, every scene that happens, it's not like, oh, this is you exploring these characters. This is you kind of figuring out who these people are. If there's that, it's a spoonful of sugar to make your medicine go down.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little bit of character, but it's mostly to set up this other thing that's going to happen later, and that's kind of it.
Precisely. There's probably like easily 100 or more characters in this, but only 2 or 3.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I will say there's like 20 odd named characters.
Yeah.
But you don't stick around with any of them for any substantial amount of time apart from Alita, her boyfriend, and Christoph Waltz. Hell, we don't even really know much about Christoph Waltz's nurse, who you're introduced to in the first 5 minutes. I think you said it best, spectacular misfire. But not even a spectacular misfire, it's a misfire.
I feel like
an unremarkable
and
one.
I know it does come from a manga, but I feel like it would be better as a serialized episodic anime.
or a series of films where you get like this arc.
This is definitely asking for a trilogy of some sort.
Well, that's the thing. If you take this movie apart, you got a kick-ass trilogy. You put it together, you just got an overstuffed film. But unlike Aquaman was way overstuffed, but it was a fun adventure. There was, I mean, and to be fair, in Alita, there's a lot of things happening, but Aquaman's kind of a weird dude, bro. But I kind of want to hang out with Aquaman. Alita is...
So do I, for different reasons.
Yeah. Alita is perfect at everything she does. She's not... this term gets thrown around a lot improperly, and I'm going to use it the way that a lot of people think you're supposed to use it. Alita is not a Mary Sue. People, I get this feeling I'm going to see that criticism thrown around a lot. She's not. Her characterization is a little bit deeper than that, and I appreciate that, but to no end. There's nothing more to it than that, and that's about it. Yeah, it just... Alright. What's funny about this, though, is I know the exact people that will love this film. I know all of the people in my life that I can recommend this film to right now. They will see it and they'll be like, that was a hell of a fun movie. It's weird. This is the least Robert Rodriguez film that Robert has ever Rodriguez'd, and I really feel the heavy hand of James Cameron on all of this. It was definitely a collaboration. It wasn't James Cameron like ghost directing, but it was a heavy collaboration between those two.
I feel like a lot of the artistic vision came in from Robert Rodriguez, and you can see a lot of the like influence that came out in some of his more childish movies.
Well, the stuff that I saw that he really infused into this film is more the kind of multiculturalism to it. It's not awash with white people. There's a lot of white people, but it's not awash with white people. And the thing that it's weird. The thing that stood out to me is like a lot of the dirt streets and the street vendors and the way that was portrayed versus like Blade Runner 2049 and the way that it shows its, dirty slum streets and everything.
Yeah, I would say to me this world felt like it was like Neo-Brazil.
Yeah, something like that. I definitely say that the city, not the movie.
There's a movie called Neo-Brazil.
There's a movie called Brazil.
Oh, okay.
This is a movie review. People are expecting references. Yeah, it's a fairly interesting cyberpunk. I would definitely say heavily inspired again by Warhammer 40k, Necromunda, but also Shadowrun. Especially in the like cyborg and the commonality of cyborgs and the like. Let me replace this with cyborg arm. That's really cool. The Street Samurai, yes. And yeah, that's just cool, but it's just floating around in the ether of this film. And at the end of the day, it's sad, but I know for a fact I'm gonna forget everything about this movie in about 2 weeks. I'm gonna be scrolling through the reviews I did this year and go, wait, what? Oh yeah. It's incredibly forgettable, unfortunately. There are 3 better movies to be mined from the 2.5 better movies to be mined from this, but yeah, it's unfortunate. There's a bit at the end that when they did a reveal of a character, I was like, huh. I'm upset at myself that I didn't figure that one out sooner. But, yeah, this is interesting. But, yeah. That's about it. That's all I got to say. You got anything else?
I would say it's worth seeing if you're a fan of cyberpunk.
Yeah. If you really love movies like Chronicles of Riddick, not Pitch Black, not Riddick, The Chronicles of Riddick, which I actually love that film. Movies like The Chronicles of Riddick, movies like Jupiter Ascending, movies like John Carter of Mars, or I guess just John Carter. If you really like those movies, I think you're gonna dig this one. So, I hope you dig it. I hope you like it a lot more than I ended up liking it. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it. If this looks interesting to you, definitely see it on the big screen. It's absolutely worth seeing. A lot of the action is shown in a very clear way. I will say, there was a scene there was a fight scene that took place in the sewers. I didn't have a problem seeing anything there. It was still lit like sewers and everything, but you could see everything that was happening. There's very complex things were happening in that scene. Fight scenes, you can see everything clearly. You can see everything clearly in the sports scenes that I was describing. It is a well-lit movie. You can tell money was put behind it. So if you want to see this movie, if this sounds like your kind of movie, see it on the big screen. You're going to be very pleased with what you get. Apparently, they're really pushing the 3D version of this. So if you are inclined to see movies in 3D, give that a shot as well. I think if this looks like your kind of movie, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you do. I really do. So that's gonna wrap it up for us here today. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/glassfilmshouse. Comment below what you thought of the film when you eventually see it. You can follow us on facebook.com/glasshousefilms, and where I am most active on Twitter @glasshousefilms. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what's coming out next week. I lost track of that. Oh wait, Captain Marvel comes out soon. I don't know if it's like 3 weeks from now. But anyway, I'm excited for that one. I like that trailer too. I like that one. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.